Nerd Academy podcast is released weekly at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, available on our website at www.thenerdacademypodcast.com and wherever you listen to podcasts. You can find the Nerd Academy podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. You can also help support the show by going to patreon.com/The Nerd Academy podcast, where every donation allows us to bring you more exciting content every week.
Good evening, class, and welcome back to the Nerd Academy Live. I am your host, Jarod Bachman-Stubbs, and this is our San Diego Comic-Con Live News Roundup. I am not going to waste any time, so we're going to jump right into bringing in our panelists for the evening. Obviously, riding shotgun with me, making his triumphant, if not brief, return to the Nerd Academy podcast. It is the one, the only, your resident Green Lantern, Professor Travis Grossman.
I've been doing that for years, and I've never spilled a drop on my computer, and I'm very thankful every day for that.
You're a better man than me. I almost destroyed my computer not too long ago doing that. It was a great time. The night before an Ionized Bastards episode at that. But we are not alone. As you guys saw, we are joined by our lovely friends from the Comicbookcast. It is Armin and Mitch. What's going on, guys?
Hey.
Ahoy, hoy.
Look at Armin being the odd one out for a change.
I know.
Armin is the
tits.
face in the void for now.
I decided, I was like, man, all these scrubs thinking I'm going to be the odd man now. I want to be the rebel of this show.
Not that old man hasn't plugged his webcam in. No.
True. I don't know how it works, man. I'm too old. Like, they need to send me like one of those Razor phones, and if that can do somehow webcam, I'll be good.
Hey, if anybody can figure it out, I have nothing but faith in you. But yeah, we are here. We're going to be talking about some of the big news out of San Diego Comic-Con. The focus tonight is going to be mostly on Marvel Hall H stuff. We're going to be talking up top about some Lucasfilm Publishing news that we're very excited about. We're going to touch on some of the boys stuff, but the main thing on the table tonight is going to be Hall H. Just as a little bit of housekeeping up top, first of all, Ionized Bastards, the Star Wars RPG show I do over at the All Remaining Systems YouTube channel, Season 2 has officially ended, and we are now in the prep for the final season, the third and final season of Ionized Bastards. So go over to the All Remaining Systems YouTube channel to get caught up on that. We've been having a great time. I know Mitch has been making his way through Season 2. You're about halfway through the second season. Mitch also, he and I host Pro and Noob over at Mitch's channel, Mitch692, where he's taking me episode by episode through Neon Genesis Evangelion. So go check all of those things out. Sometimes 2 episodes at a time. But yeah, we are, I'm excited to jump into some of this. We got some friends in the chat. We have Paco coming in with Squatch. Let's fucking go. Eli is here. What's going on, Eli? Also in a Galaxy Trivia Epic Confrontations. We got Buck, we got Brennan Marr, we got our buddy Nick Johnson, we got more Paco, and we have the lovely Miss Taylor coming to us live from the living room just down the hall from me. But yeah, so just as a quick kind of temperature check, how are we feeling coming out of San Diego this year, guys? Armin, I'll throw to you first.
It depends on what we're talking about, I guess, in general, like the bigger picture. Overall,
only one thing came out of Comic-Con, let's be honest.
That's kind of how I'm on it. Like, it still feels like we are in the recovery of the post-pandemic, and this was sort of like Marvel Studios is back, okay? They'll be back next year. DC will be back. So next year, we're definitely back to form. This year, I felt like everybody was trying, but there was only one king of San Diego Comic-Con this year, and we all know who it was. So, you know, it was what it was. I thought it was overall a decent comeback, but it'll be back to form in the next 2 years, definitely. So,
yeah, I feel that. I get excited. There's a part of me that, like, as a kid who would watch San Diego coverage on G4 all weekend in my Nana's basement, I just have I don't care what gets announced. I don't care if nothing gets announced. I just get excited.
Right.
For the most just non-news iota of information, I just am full of excitement. You know, like I remember learning on the Comic-Con news ticker way back in the day that Mark Ruffalo would be playing the Hulk, and I was like, oh my god, news! This is so incredible, you know. So, but yeah, Mitch, how you feeling coming out of?
Well, I
San Diego?
almost didn't actually pay attention to it at all this year. I was like, I'm just no. We've spoken before about burnout, and I was like, you know what? I'm very much in the burnout phase, and I think since Friday, that burnout has kind of fizzled away a little bit. So I'm excited.
Oh yeah,
I only pay attention to Marvel and Hall H, but I'm excited for it.
Travis, how are you feeling?
I mean, the plays we saw at this convention are wild, considering the attempts on former President The Rock Johnson's life. It is crazy that they really went with this nominee. We didn't think that what's his name? I dropped the actor's name. Kang.
John Majors.
John Majors would drop out of the race like he did, but you know, it's probably for the best. His party really didn't have a chance of winning otherwise.
Majors took his shot and he missed.
Just like the U.S. at the Olympics.
Imagine getting beaten by China. Come on.
In shooting.
No wonder Trump's scared of China.
Listen, Jonathan Majors has no place in the industry, and anyone giving him harbor should take a deep look in the mirror.
Agreed.
And I'm never going to come here to defend him or praise him.
Bro, you know,
one thing, and that is watching that man dance to Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar is like devoid of context. One of the funniest things I've seen all year. I don't know if anybody else has seen the video of Jonathan Majors.
No.
He's kind of doing a full-bodied version of the Marge Simpson dancing meme. Is the only way I can describe it. Like he's moving like a Muppet, where his elbows and his knees are connected by twine, and he's just doing this like full body, and it's like I didn't even realize it was him at first. And then I saw people talking about Jonathan Majors dancing to Not Like Us. And then part of me's like, that song is about being a dangerous man around people he shouldn't be around. So stop dancing. But why do you dance like that? It's
Jonathan Majors.
The
man is eccentric.
That's a word for it. But yeah, we're gonna jump into some of the news, and we're gonna start up top with the crumbs of Star Wars news we got. And it's funny, we already had some people in here calling attention to No Skeleton Crew news with Woodsy, and then Eli and Buck bringing up. You know, we gotta wait till D23 for that, and you know, I think we're gonna get some stuff for D23. Like I said, I don't know if we're gonna do a live recap for that, if we're gonna do a pre-record, but we will obviously be covering D23 on the show. So we're going to jump in real quick. Shouts out to Stardust Records, friends of the show. They had a great live tweet from the Lucasfilm Publishing panel. First off, they had some of the folks from Star Wars Outlaws on the panel, which was very exciting. But yeah, so I'm going to throw up the Stardust Records Twitter thread on screen so everybody can follow along with us. So yeah, let's get this going here. Cast and crew of Outlaws. They were talking about some of the stuff for Outlaws, how Kves, born and raised on Canto Bight. She had a dream of exploring the galaxy, but doesn't know the dangers of the underworld. Just, you know, kind of like some basic stuff about Outlaws, because, you know, we are really close to the release. I do, however, want to jump into more of the publishing stuff. Kind of coming through here. Sorry, doing this in real time. So yeah, jumping into publishing, we basically found out we are going to be getting an unofficial Phase 4 for the High Republic, which I know is exciting news for myself and Armin. Armin, you surprised me. I didn't realize you were keeping up with the High Republic until we talked about Acolyte on KNR.
Right.
But yeah, so the first announcement coming out of that is Star Wars The Acolyte Wayseeker, a story that seems to star Master Indara and one Vernestra Rowe. Which is exciting stuff. Wayseeker is an adult grade novel. We also get an Vernestra Rowe. Black Series. I was gonna say.
Let me get to Big Bad Toy Store right now.
Yeah,
Big
yeah.
Bad.
I hear him clicking, looking it up. As
Oh, there it is, right up. Perfect. Done.
Yeah.
Let
We
me
also
back
got an
12.
announcement that we're going to be getting a YA Jordan Jeckie novel, which is very exciting.
That'd be
Travis, you
short.
said you're not up on Acolyte yet, correct?
I've watched the pilot. That's it.
Okay.
Is it too
Bring
woke
Pepper
for
to
you,
check.
bro? Too woke?
Yes, it's
Okay,
way
good.
too
Okay.
woke for me.
Good.
That's the issue.
It looks like both of these books are going to be dropping in 2025. I'm very excited for the Jordan Jeckie novel. And then again, we will be getting a
Oh,
continuation
here we go, baby.
of
Comics.
some of this. We're getting when we do this before. We know that we're going to be getting a Kelnaka mini series, which is very exciting, and that Kelnaka will be appearing in the proper High Republic series in a bit called Fear of the Jedi. And here we can see Kelnaka running into battle here with Keeve Trennis and Skier, which is very exciting to see some of these characters.
See,
kind
this
of
is what I
overlapping a
need
little bit
because
more.
reading is hard, but looking at pictures is easy. So this is what I'm about. You know, it's true story.
Yes.
It's comic book cast, not literature cast.
Exactly. Come on.
Maybe if you guys did literature and I found you guys when I was a kid, I would have been like, oh, I love Moby Dick.
I
yeah, so
haven't read a novel in years. I read like hundreds of chapters of manga in one day.
Yeah.
But you're also an audiobook guy. You're an audiobook
I
guy,
do the audiobooks as well,
Yeah.
to be fair. Like I've done all the Star Wars audiobooks, so
Oh, they're the best. I'm an audiobook guy by trade because like I love books, but also like finding the time is difficult. And there are a few things I love more than sitting down listening to a Star Wars audiobook while playing classic Battlefront 2. Like that is my happy place. Like just up until the wee hours of the morning playing Galactic Conquest, listening to a new Star Wars audiobook is peak for me. But yeah, so like I said, a lot of this was like outlaw stuff, heavy up front. A lot of it's cool stuff, but a lot of it is, kind of going over stuff that we kind of already knew. One of the bigger things, D. Bradley Baker, who I'll be getting to meet here in a couple weeks, or in a week at Steel City Con, which I'm excited about, is going to be voicing Jabba the Hutt. But yeah, I know there's a lot of people with a lot of Outlaws coverage happening right now. I know our other friends, Star Wars Explained, got to do a little bit of a hands-on preview as they typically get to. So go check out all of their coverage of
you have no
Outlaws.
idea how hyped I am for that game. That's my most anticipated game this year, and oh my god, it looks so good.
I'm super excited for it. I'm not as excited for it as I was for Jedi Survivor, but not to be everything I like to make fun of, I can't use a lightsaber in this game, so I'm inherently less excited for it. But I am still pumped nonetheless, especially to explore this very nebulous time where, the criminal underworld is just popping the fuck off.
Yeah.
Because the Empire is too busy fighting its actual war and has kind of lost track of the criminal underworld. Hitting one thing real quick. We did get an announcement, and this is prescient because Mitch, you and I were talking about this on the Boys review that'll be out on the CBC channel. We got news for an official Boys spinoff.
Another one.
Well, I mean, yeah, another one, but one that I am excited to hear your thoughts about. So we got an announcement. The Boys showrunner describes the upcoming series Vought Rising as LA Confidential with superheroes. That is a headline from IndieWire. So yeah, this will be a prequel set all the way back in the 50s, starring Jensen Ackles' Soldier Boy and Aya Cash's Stormfront, or who we know as Stormfront. Was it Lady Liberty was her name back in the day?
I think so.
I can fix her, guys. I can fix her. Let me try.
I too am on the
fix her from the
saying that
50s or fix her in present day, boys?
I can fix her. Yes.
One's slightly more challenging than the other.
Yeah.
Listen, I do not thirst for celebrities often. That is a thing I'm on record as saying. people who do, all the power to you.
This is going to
There
be
are
a spicy butt, I can tell.
There are hot people in Hollywood. I am just frustrated by the fact that some of the biggest pieces of shit in The Boys happen to be some of the most attractive women I've ever seen on screen. It really makes me angry that it is.
See, I was feeling good about Firecracker until that one episode, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
favorite-
I hate that it's like that. I hate that our options with The Boys in terms of
Nazi
these
or
beautiful
pedophile?
women is Nazi mommy and or your QAnon mommy and like Nazi MILF. And I think that's unfucking fair. On
I love
principle.
that Mitch went, the spiciest butt is coming, and then you explicitly didn't use the word butt just to spite him.
No.
Goddamn right. I think when you think I'm gonna zag. I'm unpredictable like that. But yeah, Mitch, how are you feeling about Vought Rising? Because you had some choice words about Boys spinoffs.
I say I'm gonna watch it. Right, I'm gonna watch it, but I honestly don't know. I don't know. My mental capacity's gone from one thing
Hey Sean, what's going on
from this
brother?
Comic-Con. Hi, sure. And I don't know, to be honest.
Mitch told me in confidence that he prefers Jupiter's Legacy.
I did. It's true. Yeah.
I
I'm
don't
being
know
coy about it. I'm just like,
I don't know
It's not
why that
Jupiter's
reminded
Legacy,
me,
no.
but that show existed and nobody remembers it.
I mean, in fairness, the Boys and Jupiter's Legacy share the same costume designer. I'm pretty sure because they look identical.
That's
And that's
lot
not
of
a
the
jab at
same-
either of them because
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
the one good thing about Jupiter's Legacy was it actually
True.
the suits looked good, but yeah, I'm not sure. I honestly don't have much to say on it. I need to see something, I think, before I actually have a fully formed opinion.
Same.
this
I'm very excited to see how this one turns out. Like, you know, my jokes about Stormfront notwithstanding, I think Aya Cash brings a really compelling, like terrifying, charismatic monster to the screen. And Jensen Ackles is just he is that one line of dialogue from Blade and Deadpool and Wolverine distilled into a character. And again, in that very mature, always sunny, the joke is not the fucked up things he says. The joke is that what he's saying is fucked up and he's fucked up for it. And it's uncomfortable watching like normal people have to be in the same room as that. But I am really excited for this. And I'm excited to get these two characters on screen together. Like, I think that is going to be a time and a half, but
And I also feel I'm hoping for a Gen V, like quality wise. I just don't want the Boys to be like spreading themselves too thin as a franchise.
I agree. I think
And, like, losing a
budgetarily,
bit.
they might. I think on a budget level, they might be doing themselves a favor going period. I think that there's a lot of
Periods
like,
are always more expensive than modern day.
I mean, yeah, but you could do a lot of sound stages and stuff.
Oh,
mean,
they're
sure,
definitely going
location-y.
to. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And also, like, since, you know, you're dealing with that time period, if they're going to specific locations, like, you know, you can go to Eastern Europe and shoot for dirt cheap, and it stands in for whatever town or retro look you want, which, you know, they just did with the new Hellboy movie, which was one of my highlights of Con, I'll be real with you, and I did not expect that. So they can pull it off.
Yeah,
I
I'm not a
forgot about
Hellboy
that.
guy, but I heard there was a lot of good buzz around that trailer, and
It is straight up the comic come to life finally. And
I just can't believe Dennis from Always Sunny is a Hellboy now. It's crazy.
It does
What a
look like
choice.
him. Oh.
we're going to kill demons because of the implication. But yeah, so that's that on that front. But getting in kind of the weeds here, we got Marvel Hall H, guys. It's funny, Travis and I talked a little bit before we recorded our Deadpool and Wolverine review last night. Oh, and before I get too far and forget, because I know Paco is definitely trying to trigger the clip. So let me give you what you want.
Maybe I'll walk out of here tomorrow and you never see me again. That's really what I want to do.
It is really what I want to do. Stone buildings burned to the fucking ground, Eddie. But kind of using the IGN article as a roadmap here again, just citing sources.
Which
but
one? The one where they praise it, the one where they hate it?
The IGN always playing both sides so they come out on top.
I mostly IGN is the Palpatine of nerd outlets. No, I'm just as like a roadmap of like the sequence of what happened when. I don't even know. I'm just going off of the point of order here. But Travis, you and I both came out of a second viewing of Deadpool and Wolverine. I need to get the Elfrona thing off the screen. I'm not going to let that stay up there for too long. That's good. That is damaging to my brand. You and I both came out of our second viewing of Deadpool and Wolverine as Hall H was happening, and basically exited the theater to look at our phones and go, holy motherfucking fuck.
Yeah, I literally, because I thought Hall H was starting at 7 Eastern, and then, but that was the start of my showtime for the movie. So I'm like, I'm gonna come out to some crazy stuff, and I went out to use the bathroom like right before the movie ended, because I could go whenever I wanted. I'd already seen it once. It's the beauty of a second showing,
Right?
And as I run out to, it's like 8:55. And I'm trying to I'll check on Hall H. I'll see what's going on. Or I'll see what Twitter exploded into, and nothing's there. And I realized that I miscalculated the time, and it's starting in 5 minutes. And I was like, well, whatever happens, happens.
Play it where it falls. So what time was your showing of Deadpool?
7 p.m. So we got out of the theater at 9:30-ish.
So I was 7:45. So I walked out of the theater.
Yeah.
Looked at a group chat I'm in. Saw RDJ Dr. Doom just 18 times in a row, and went, what?
I'll be honest, I almost didn't see it because I had been checking periodically, after we got out of the theater, and just oh, they had the Thunderbolts cast on, or they had the Captain America cast on, great. They had the Thunderbolts cast on, great. There's probably going to be some footage of that floating around. Oh, they had the Fantastic Four cast on. That's really cool. We get back home, and I'm like, it doesn't seem like they're announcing anything new. They haven't announced any I was thinking maybe we'll get a Doom casting or a Galactus casting, because I kept hearing that Galactus was in the little mini trailer they did, which I think
we do have an actor.
Yeah, Ralph Ineson. Yeah.
So I was like, doesn't seem like there's anything that big happening. And then one last time picked up my phone just to see the clip, the shot of him doing the thing. And I was like, oh, they have him out to celebrate and announce Doom will be in the MCU. That's really nice. And that's not what that was.
No. I mean, they did. That was it, but with an extra
but
caveat.
Also
no, my showing was at 7:45. So I got out of the theater. Taylor ran to the bathroom, and I'm just seeing all these texts, and I'm like, I can't make sense of it because I'm seeing Dr. Doom and RDJ on my phone screen. I'm like, I don't understand what's happening. So then I go to Twitter for real, and then I see the same rips off the mask. Whoa, holy shit! And I'm like, oh, so. I want to start the Hall H conversation with the elephant in the room, Robert Doomey Jr. As I said it, Eli put it in the chat. That's fucking hilarious.
Classic.
Robert Doomey Jr. So my take on this, my interpretation, and I want to say something important up top, and it's something we've talked about a lot on Nerd Academy. It's something I know you guys have talked a lot about on Comicbookcast, and it is. No matter how much we all do love the MCU, if there is one place where they have dropped the ball, it is in the missing the mark on casting Romani characters to play iconic, or actors to play iconic Romani characters. Again, do I love what Elizabeth Olsen brings to the role as Wanda Maximoff? Yes. Do I think her performance is great? Yes. Do I think it's weird they went out of her way to make her Catholic? Also, yes.
Yeah.
There are, and, obviously, Quicksilver is Quicksilver. We didn't get a whole lot Aaron Taylor Johnson's take on it. But again, I think he was charming. I think he did. I think he performed well in the role. At the end of the day, he probably should not have been the person cast. Do I think there may have been reasons for doing that? Probably. I was talking with friend of the show, Alden Diaz, and he brought up, kind of a ancient one conundrum. We don't want to lean into really harmful stereotypes, so we will try to circumvent it. But all we've done is actually kind of shoot ourselves in the foot with a different gun. So I think there's an argument for that. I think there may be an argument for maybe because of all the weird Fox stuff, leaning into their heritage invokes Magneto too much. So they kind of dodged out of the way of that, but again, ended up stepping on a different rake. I think I am inclined to believe that there were, I don't want to say good faith, but not bad faith reasons for the casting going in that direction in these previous examples. However, it's still a fuck up, and it's still a failing on the cast, on the part of the casting. Sarah Haley Finn does not miss in terms of what actors can bring the character to life. This is a specific element that has been lacking. And I think with Robert Downey Jr., before we get into the lore and the multiverse of it all, I just want to say, I do not know how to tackle, like, if it's Tony, if it's evil Tony, does that make, like, I don't quite know if you sidestep the representation issue, if it's an evil Tony, and it's like, well, it would be weird to go in that direction and change that if the point is that it is the Tony Stark we know to a point.
Mm-hmm.
I just think a lot of that's complicated. I think that when we get a proper Victor Von Doom in the MCU proper, assuming the assumption that we all have that Secret Wars will result in a reset of some sort, that is the time to commit to, whether it's an unknown or an established actor, that we need to bring a Romani actor to the stage to play this character. And I do want to acknowledge that is a problem worth acknowledging. It is a problem I don't know if we're currently in with Doom, but I also don't have that identity. I don't have the lived experience of seeing that identity be mocked and kind of dragged through the mud in many ways throughout media across decades.
Yeah.
So my opinion also should not carry that much weight. But yeah, what were you gonna say?
I like what you're saying there. To me, Doctor Doom. Okay, I think we're on the same wavelength. I think all four of us are on the same thing. Once it's reset, they reset Secret Wars. Once you got your big bad Robert Downey Jr. Doctor Doom, we're gonna get a relative unknown to play Victor Von Doom in this new sacred timeline, and he's gonna be Romani. What really, really, really gets me is that one of the most prominent characters in comics and films for the last however long is Nightwing, Dick Grayson, who is Romani.
Yes.
And they never lean into it. And again, we talked about it. I've talked about it on your show. I am from Eastern Europe. I have people that are married into my family who are Romani, and over there, culturally, we can call them the G word. They don't care. It's kind of like, it's a thing, right? But I don't like to use it. It is a thing. And I do think we're going to get to the point where it's a little bit more socially acceptable to, hey, we cast a Romani actor. But it feels like Hollywood has this, I don't know what it is. Like they're afraid or something. And they're like, if we just get the biggest actor we can, people will overlook it. And I understand they're trying to fix it, and slowly we're getting there, and we're seeing it happen with other characters, just to kind of sidestep that. Sabra, in Captain America 4. They're making changes because they're being culturally aware of some of the things that are going on. I think we're going to get there, and I don't think Robert Downey Jr. is like, oh, if we cast them, everybody will sidestep the Romani thing. It's a desperation casting because Marvel is in a desperate place, and they couldn't recast Kang because the stink of Jonathan Majors is always going to be there. So bring back Downey Jr. as a variant, and then we're going to get there. And I understand that. And I can see what they're thinking of, but they should maybe message it a little better too.
Yeah. I am inclined to agree with you. I think that it is messy. I still think it's silly to not recast Kang.
They are though.
Yeah,
Someone's come out and said anyway that the Kang storyline will be resolved in Doomsday, so they have to do something with Kang at some point. Obviously, they weren't going to address it here because it's we have to explain the pivot we're currently doing in one shape or form.
This reads to me, and like, it's horrid timing. Like it's really bad timing because it seems like it's a desperation play, and I would not be surprised, given like what the timeline behind the scenes is actually like, that this has always kind of been the plan, that we were always going to get. And I keep going to say Tony Doom, but I'm referring to Tony as the actor and not already my brain keeps switching them. But like, we were always going to get Robert Downey Jr. Doom as the secret boss of what would have been Kang Dynasty. In fact, maybe even a fake out title. And so now they're just they're dropping the Kang stuff because they can't market on that anymore. And maybe reworking the film plot a little bit to be more centric on Doom or whatever version of Doom we get.
I'm glad you brought that up because that is something I've been thinking about since the announcement, is that like,
because, and here's my other reason.
I don't disagree with you. It may have secretly been the plan all along, because it seems too crazy for this to be a Hail Mary. You know what I mean? This seems really tactical for it to be start pulling levers, you know?
Yeah, you don't get that money to spend on a Hail Mary. But also, like, it feels way too set up. We kind of talked about this in the Deadpool review last night. And I didn't bring it up because I wanted to talk about it here, but like, it just seems so easy. They're like, oh, anchor beings are the main plot of Deadpool, without going into too many spoilers about what that means for that movie. It's all right there, man. Like, the meta narrative of Tony being the anchor being for the MCU is it's on a silver platter.
Mm-hmm.
It's cooked perfectly. It has a beautiful glaze on it, down to like the slice of pineapple. You know what I mean?
I mean, you say that. I mean, today there was a clip going around from comicbook.com where Brendan Davis was talking to Kevin Feige.
And I will say I had this idea before I saw that clip.
I didn't even know you saw it, because I know you've been on for the most part. But like, and Brendan Davis was like, well, is Iron Man the anchor being for 616? And Kevin Feige's like, very like, I'm not saying anything while letting the subtext say everything answer of, I'm really glad that this movie sparked your imagination to think that.
Uh-huh.
But here's the thing with that,
which is so baller on Kevin's part to phrase it like that.
It's such a softball question, because let's be honest here. Who else could it be?
Spider-Man.
No,
that's the only thing.
Hasn't been
the one guy we don't own.
Literally, what I was saying is like, they're gonna go meta with it. Like, I was literally thinking they're gonna go meta with it, be like, yeah, it's Spider-Man because Sony tries to rip him out and cut our universe short. Like, just
but then that's shooting himself in the foot again. It's like, oh no, we're relying on this. Like, the fact that, you know,
it's Thor.
Spider-Man wasn't there since the beginning. Like, Tony's been there it literally launched with him. It has to be. It can't be anyone else. I saw someone tweeted me earlier asking, could it be Sprite from Eternals? It's just like, no. I'd love to know like what you were smoking to get Sprite, but no.
Well, and I mean, you alluded to it, that you think we're all in the same wavelength. I think we are. And it's funny, like, I haven't had this happen in a long time, but I got to work today, and almost all of my coworkers today were asking me what I thought about this. And that hasn't happened in a long time, where there was big like cape shit news and people were like, hey, what do you think? But you know, and I was saying, I think that if Downey ends up playing Victor Von Doom, this has an uphill battle for me on the Romani issue, which we've talked about, on the weird stunt casting level, where it's like, do I think RDJ has the charisma and the gravitas to play Victor Von Doom? Yeah.
She played him for like 12 years, just in a red and gold suit.
Basically.
Mm.
Like, do I think he could? Absolutely. Is it what I would have gone with? And I think it's kind of weird. Yeah. Honestly, it puts me in a similar place to how I felt about Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards. Only this time way more skeptical and slightly more skeptical. Of like, this feels kind of like this guy's big right now. But whatever. What I really like about what we could do here is I love the reversal of phase 4 and phase 5 have been about identity, about finding yourself in multitudes, and how, especially in the big multiversal stories, right? Quantumania, No Way Home, Multiverse of Madness, and now Deadpool and Wolverine. It's about look into infinity and see that possibilities are endless and that you cannot be defined by anyone else but yourself, because you are getting a bird's eye view into the fact that you are different everywhere. Choose what you want. And I think that's really beautiful. It also ties in with these ideas of overcoming what was, like our future president has said, you exist in the context of all that came before you, unburdened by what was. I hate that she accidentally has the perfect mission statement for the current story of the MCU. But
you think you fell out of a coconut tree.
Yeah. I am coconut. But like overcoming that trauma and understanding like who you are in spite of that has been a through line of almost every single one of these movies, from WandaVision up to Deadpool and Wolverine. And fucking Eli, do you think that Victor Von Doom fell out of a coconut tree?
Someone does.
That's so funny.
And how else do you think his face gets fucked up?
He takes a coconut right to the melon. But so I love the
like
idea.
I get hit in the head with 2 coconuts.
But I love the idea of this new generation of heroes who have learned from the past, who are going to improve upon it, having to face down what came before, distilled into the inversion of all the lessons they learned. And this idea, because what I think is happening with Robert Downey Jr. is this is not only a Tony Stark variant, this is a Tony Stark variant that fell to the dark side because he experienced the same journey ours did, but went in the opposite direction.
Yep.
Learned all the wrong lessons from Loki, learned all the wrong lessons from Ultron, learned all the wrong lessons from Civil War.
Literally my theory that I've had on CBC this week.
I was literally talking to my wife, and she was coming up with a theory in the car, and she doesn't listen to anything, she doesn't tune into anything. She was like, what if they beat for beat do the opening of Iron Man, but then the 10 rings, he starts learning magic, and then he goes down that rabbit hole? I was like, yeah, that's kind of like, I think, like, if you know the comics and the story of Doom, you can tie it together, and then, hey, he lost his mom, right? Well, magic can lead to the Doctor Doom story trying to save his mom. It's a perfect remix of Iron Man 1, but like it's so genius. If they don't do it, I almost feel like they're not being smart about it,
So I think my entire enjoyment of that movie is going to depend on if they play it that way.
Right? Yeah.
I don't want to be that guy that sets an expectation for themselves and it doesn't get met, and I'm like, oh, this is trash because it wasn't what I thought of. But I think that's the only way you get round the Romani thing. If it is just Tony Stark who changes his name to Victor Von Doom, fine. At least with me.
I think it is just Tony Stark. I think it is just Tony Stark. And I'm on a similar wavelength to Shay, but I think that I'm going to try anything and everything comes at the end of Infinity War. I think that we are going to see it like the Tony we see at the beginning of Endgame. One of my favorite moments from RDJ's entire run as Iron Man is that moment where he flips shit on Steve Rogers. That, we're the Avengers, not the pre-Vengers. Run, liar. Like, one of my favorite moments from him. Again, across 11 years, one of my favorite choices he's made as an actor in that moment is that whole monologue. And I think that is the Tony we are going to see. A Tony who does not get out of that place, who is like, I am going to fucking kill Thanos for what he did. And he's like, okay, my technology wasn't enough. I just saw a motherfucker do all kinds of batshit crazy magic bullshit. and he came
Right.
close to beating Thanos. Maybe I can learn that. And then he follows Strange's path and melds that technology with the magic. And that's where I think this is going to be crucial, is I think that it needs to be similar enough to
Mhm.
Doom's path while not biting too much of Doom.
Yeah, and exactly.
Mm.
Like you can't do Doom before we get Doom proper, right? So like
Yeah.
you got to remix it, and like that's my thing. Like I definitely feel like that's the direction they go in because we're gonna get Doom down the road. That's the whole point. Like once we enter the
We
post
hope
Secret
so.
Wars, exactly. Yeah, like there's no way they don't do it because like, I mean, look, people can argue the greatest villain of all time. But most villains these days end up basing themselves on Doctor Doom. Like even Darth Vader is
Yeah.
based on Doctor Doom. Like he is, in my opinion, the greatest of all time. So you can't beat that, you know.
And I'm inclined to agree with you. And I think that having a Tony who lost his mind and doubled down on suit of armor around the world,
Mhm.
having a Tony who doubles down on that idea and then gains this tremendous power, follows a similar path to like the fallen Doctor Strange from What If, and it and that ego and this and this like almost macabre realization and agree that like the almost feels like the universe is agreeing with him that he was right about doing Ultron. He was right about the Sokovia Accords. He was right about how to take on Thanos and kind of like we just got to kill this guy way. That mentality kind of spirals out, and it's like, well, new mask, same task. Everybody's trying to figure out what that means. The task is avenging the world.
Mhm.
The task is protecting Earth. And if Tony has fully just pilled himself on that savior complex and that superiority complex, the only rational conclusion is he's going to take it upon himself to remake the multiverse in his image, much like Doom in Secret Wars, because he believes he can guard all of reality better than anybody else can, because he figured it out and he learned the lessons the hard way. So pitting somebody who succumbed to all the trauma, all the hurt, all the pain, all of the worst and all of the worst desires and impulses that we've seen all of our heroes overcome. That cocktail of the worst impulses, the insecurity, the trauma, and the pain. All of our like core stable heroes of the MCU right now have conquered those things in various ways. Sam, Peter Parker, Shang-Chi, Scott Lang, everybody has like conquered that cocktail of things. Some are more prescient in that list than others, but that has been what they have overcome. So to then pit them against an all-powerful being who learned all the wrong lessons, who looks like the guy who laid down his life for all of them, that is going to be fucking terrifying.
Mhm.
And I think that is how you play it, and I think that is the best way to do it, in my opinion.
You could do it really ironically as well. Like all the wrong lessons are where Tony's gotten everything right. Like you just take Tony's MCU arc, so like Age of Ultron, the AI doesn't go crazy. He ends up making the Ultron, and it works just fine. Ultron, but it's like cool, I'm right, and just every single step
He
of the
just
way.
like starts becoming like a dictator just because
Yeah.
it worked, and everybody's like,
It's-
"Oh wow,
yeah.
he did it!" You know?
Yeah, it's like an actual good what if that Marvel can't see the crack in a minute. But you just keep doing that. Like everything that Tony failed at in the MCU, this Tony got right, and it just led down to this bit.
Mhm.
You do it that
I
way.
like that too. Because I'm saying like he fails in all the same places, but learns the wrong lesson. That's also interesting. Like he didn't fail; it did work, and it all went to his head.
He just failed to learn the right lesson from it.
Oh,
Because he
Oh.
got it right, he didn't learn the right lesson. Bam.
damn!
Or if you do the Iron Man
Hurts.
1 thing, you can be like, hey, everything happened in Iron Man 1 in Latveria, and then we just go on that route and
Uh-huh.
make it easy peasy.
Absolutely, Travis. What are you thinking? Because we've all been yapping.
all of those things. I mean, like the thing is, when you take more than 30 seconds to think about what's happening rationally, like the people
I
that
can't
are
fit that
mad,
in a tweet. I don't know what you're talking.
you're right. That like you can't get upset about Robert Downey Jr.'s cast of Victor Von Doom because the likelihood of him being Victor Von Doom is already slim, and the chance of him being 616 as Victor Von Doom is actually factually zero. So the idea that, because like a dude looks like Tony Stark in the world, everyone's gonna know, you know. So then you have to go to what multiverse nonsense are they going? For me, like I hadn't thought about how he gets there, and all of those ideas make sense, and all of them make very compelling motivations for a villain. And my brain is going from the other end of like, how do we find him? Oh, someone's convinced that the MCU timeline needs an anchor being again, and thinks that they're finding the best Iron Man, and they're actually finding Doctor Doom on his conquest forward, right? Like, again, silver platter, it's right there, which means that's probably not what they're doing. Because if I can come up with that in a couple days,
I don't know.
Well,
Remember
usually
when,
the
like,
easiest solution is the best one, right?
I was going to say, remember when, like, 3 years before Infinity War, we're like, okay, it ends, he snaps his finger, half of them die, the next film, they're recovering, there's a time jump, they kill Thanos, and we were all like, oh, I guess we call that one. I don't know. Like, so I think you're kind of like, it does seem too easy, but I think easy and safe right now, as we saw with the casting and the Russo brothers, it's what they need. They need, just go safe, you know? Like, it's...
Yeah, that's the thing that feels like a desperation pull. Like, RDJ being Doom, I feel like they've had locked up for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think since Quantum Mania, because there was that whole rumor back then of the pivot to Doom. I reckon it's been a good while.
Yeah.
Good year and a half.
Ever since they said Secret Wars, we've all of us have been so that means we're going to get a Doom as the secret Endgame villain. I can't say Endgame because it means the movie, but like, you know, the secret bad guy behind the bad guy they're building up is going to be Doctor Doom, and we know that because of Fantastic Four, and everything's going to work out, and it's going to be great. So, I think this has probably been queued up the whole time to some degree, and maybe like of the things that could be an ass pull, the Russo brothers feel like the ass pulliest, and even that doesn't feel like maybe that was part of the conversation.
Well, this is the interesting thing. I think it was Variety. I don't know if Armin knows this or not, but apparently one of the I can't think of like the terms for RDJ to come back was the Russos came back.
Yeah.
I did see. I saw. I didn't read an article, but I saw, and it might have been Variety. It was like RDJ came back because of this one thing, kind of clickbaity thing. So I, didn't click on it. But
yeah, apparently it's because of those two. But
makes sense.
I mean, I would believe it. Like that just seems like
He
obviously
doesn't care about Marcus and McFeely because we've only got McFeely.
McFeely and McFeely.
I think it's gonna be fine. Like the world isn't over. They're gonna make a good movie. We're all gonna see it. It's gonna be the highest grossing movie of all time.
Yep.
Oh my god, the MCU.
I already called it $3 billion. I think this is gonna be the first one to hit it.
What did the Endgame make? 2.8. Yeah, I think 3
just
billion.
shy. Yeah.
Or Secret Wars maybe is 3, and this is like also 2.8, 2.9. But Secret Wars is gonna that's gonna be the all-time biggest and easily.
So what if Doomsday's like 2 or like 3.5, and then Secret Wars is like 4?
I mean, the moment you see Robert Downey Jr., Tobey Maguire, Andrew, Hugh Jackman, I don't know, all of them together, it's just a license to print money. And how much we already know. They're spending just $150 million to get Robert Downey Jr. and the Russo brothers back. So just think of these budgets. This is going to be like $500-600 million movies easily.
Oh, easily. Easily. I mean, you could fund like A24 for a decade on Danny.
Dude, they're spending the amount of a country, like a small little country's worth on these films. It's absolutely astronomical. Like, it can't even comprehend it.
Yeah, we can't pay the writers. No, yay.
Yeah, an issue we all care very much about that we will bitch about in a smaller episode with less of a time constraint. Armin, because I know we're going to lose you soon, I want to throw to you and ask how you're feeling about Fantastic Four: The First Steps.
I bet he hates it. Fake fan.
Too woke for me. It's like...
I should have seen that joke coming.
I almost said it, so I'm glad he did.
Look, I've been on the Fantastic Four I need this to hit good since I've been doing this. Most people will remember my Fan 4-stick review, which, my God, did I unleash on that film for a good 15 minutes. And it was like, it was one of like the highest reviewed videos. And people know I'm passionate about the Fantastic Four like nothing else. And this is the first time I feel good about Fantastic Four since I discovered them when I was like 4. So I specifically remember my dad used to have comics, and I would be looking through them, and the issues with Galactus, Surfer, and the Fantastic Four always caught my eyes, and I fell in love with those characters. So, like, I'm finally going to get it done good. That sizzle reel they showed off, man, I had a chubby. It was that good. So I am dead. Like, everything is looking good. They're going to do it. Finally, Fantastic Four are going to be good, and I honestly don't have a single complaint about anything they've said or showed off from those concepts and the artwork. It looks, it's exactly what you want, Like, I can't describe a better Fantastic Four film outside of, hey, this looks like what they're going to give us. So I'm good.
Yeah, I was really impressed by a lot of the angles here, and I alluded to it earlier. I've said before, I have always I was a day one. I trust Pedro Pascal. I don't see the vision yet. I'm really starting to see it, like just down to Pedro's body language and like what he's doing with his voice. Like, I went from like a 4 to an 8. On like
anytime Pedro's in an established IP for something and he's cast as the lead, and I'm like, I don't know how I'm not gonna just see Pedro Pascal in the lead, and then I see him do it, and I'm like, oh right, he's just the best thing to happen to Hollywood. Like, when he got cast as Joel in The Last of Us, I was like, same idea, like, cool acting pick. I really don't see it. I don't know how they're gonna do it.
It's literally just a Mandalorian again. Like,
I've only watched the pilot of that show, and I've played like 3 hours of the game, and I can tell you, I immediately forgot it was Pedro Pascal. Like, he's just that good.
Yeah, absolutely. And just the aesthetics of this, like, they very clearly went into showing off Fantastic Four and went, the linchpin of this, the way that we make this work, the secret sauce is, this is a family. These are people who love each other fiercely and deeply. And like, if that and in my opinion, that's the most important like note to hit and hit well. I was sold. I watched that trailer. And again, just knowing how that trailer was made, that it was composite shots and screen tests and costuming tests and a lot of previs, that alone, along with G Kino's score, was able to go, oh yeah, we know. Like, I went from, I'm sure it will be good, to, oh yeah, this is, like Armin said, like, this is going to be everything I want from the Fantastic Four flick.
This is the one between when they announced it and the like Secret Wars is the one they need to get right. And I think they've known that the entire time. They're like, if we fail this one now, not that they're going to be done because they're a studio, they're always going to make movies and TV shows, whatever. But like, with the fan base and just the internet in general, they knew if they failed that one, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
like everyone's done.
Yeah, absolutely. But my socks were knocked off again. These are one of those, like, there's not a whole lot to talk about with the Fantastic Four stuff, but what they have shown us is very promising, and I am excited to see what comes of the shooting, because like they started shooting today, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, they were building the that Excelsior launch pad.
Yeah,
I haven't seen that. Oh my god.
Oh,
guys,
I want to. Because they put out a map of like New York, like the island.
Yeah.
I want to say the Baxter Building is where Avengers Tower is, but I don't know New York that well. Is it where it is?
It's pretty close. Yeah, it's pretty close.
And like, that's kind of always been the assumption, is that at the end of No Way Home, he swings through the Baxter Building.
Yeah.
Where Avengers Tower is supposed to be.
Guys, Fantastic Four.
It's gonna be a big nut bust.
That's a dangerous nut bust if it's Galactus. No.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that is the one thing. That is the one thing they screwed up. Everyone knows he's supposed to be a giant cloud.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
From
I
my
mean,
favorite
what they
movie,
do.
Fantastic Four:
Yeah.
Rise of the Silver Surfer, which
Yeah.
I watched on repeat as a kid. I had the Nintendo DS game, in fact.
That's dedication. Yeah.
Is Rise of the Silver Surfer your Wild Wild West?
Oh God.
No, because
I
that's a
would
good
say-
movie. Yeah.
I wouldn't say that because it hasn't followed me into my adulthood. Like I have not watched it since I was like however old I was when the movie came out. Young
You don't
enough
do
to
an
believe
annual
this.
movie night with your girlfriend, like, okay, honey, we're gonna watch this dog shit movie that I like.
No,
Poor
that's
Taylor. I
if I'm
swear.
anything close to that for me, it's Iron Man 2. Like, and Iron Man 2 is
Great movie,
significantly better
great
than
movie.
Wild West. Best MCU movie. And
I won't go that far, but great movie.
I will.
That's that Armin being like, Captain America is my number one movie. Like, no.
It is though. That's not a troll. Like, okay, fan favorite wise, like, okay, this is my fanboy one. Yes, if I base it on quality, it's middle of the road. But it's like, you gotta let the. It's like my Origins obsession. X-Men Origins Wolverine, hook that shit up into my veins and get me high, because I'm gonna ride that train for 2 hours.
So just based on what I can hear from the living room, I think Taylor is like slightly behind on the stream. So I think she typed this as I was saying it in real time, and then followed it up with, "You don't make people watch it after their wedding." And this is
Wow.
true.
Wow.
This is true. I sat in Scotty J. Rowe's living room the 2 days after his wedding, because the day after was the trivia match, and then the next day, because we were just crashing at his place because Taylor had sprained her ankle, I was like, "Hey, you want to watch Wild Wild West?" And he was like, "I want to experience this with you." Yes, I do. And then he made us watch the Digimon movie.
I'm not sure which is worse, to be honest.
Talk about those. I told Taylor and Scotty, I have an idea for a Wild Wild West themed D&D campaign that one day I will do.
Somebody stop this man.
It's just going to be a
big
one-man
boss-
show.
The
Yeah.
big boss will be the fucking tarantula mech.
Of course,
and you
yeah.
can't stop me.
You get to do that, and I get to do my One Piece campaign, and we'll call it even.
Hey, I've been wanting to do Tnap tabletop for so long. One of these days, that show will happen. Speaking of Captain America, again, I'm just milking Armin until he has to leave us. Captain America: Brave New World. First of all, listen, it makes me happy to see Harrison Ford having a good time.
Dude, the best clip of that entire thing is Anthony Mackie going, "Somebody fucking tell Tom Holland I got fucking Harrison Ford."
But I thought Joe Biden was on stage. What are you talking about?
Yeah. He did look a
Listen
little
here,
clueless.
Jack. We're gonna camp the Hulk. Corn pop smash.
Oh.
But everything we heard from this, I also find interesting. I will say I am a little disappointed that it sounds like just based on vibes that Seth Rollins is no longer in the movie.
Oh,
yeah,
no, he's
no.
gone. He's gone.
That
It looks like
makes me-
they completely cut out that version of the Serpent Society and replaced them.
Yeah. Esposito
Uh-huh.
replaced him, yeah.
Good. That's a much better actor, I will say that.
I don't
Yeah,
give a
well,
fuck
waste.
if Seth freaking Rollins is a good actor. Seth freaking Rollins having to fight Captain America would have made this baby WWE fan very happy. I haven't been around long. I've been around long enough to know that shit would have fucked. Okay, but
This is the old man who wanted Brock Lesnar to play whoever the hell, in the MCU and DCU. It's like, no, we
you
don't
talk
want
about
that.
wrestlers and comic book movies. On the long list of ideas, Travis heard me say this a lot in high school. On the long list of ideas, I fully plagiarized from you, Armin. I was like, John Cena should play Shazam.
He should though.
He should have
For
done
the
the
longest
fairness, yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the longest, John Cena should play Shazam. I acted like that was an original fucking thought for a long time.
Oh yeah.
I
Depending on who I'm around, like if I'm with you, I'll cite my source. If I'm with any of you, I'll be like, yeah, I heard this idea from somewhere else and I really liked it. So I'm adopting it as a thought. And if I'm not with any of you guys, I'm like, check out this original artistic thought I had. I'm an intellectual.
Big brain power.
Yeah. Like if I love and respect someone, I'll tell them my source. And if I'm around normies, I'm like, y'all, I am a genius.
Yeah.
Getting to masquerade as somebody who has like way more information than you actually have is so much fun. But no, so I do like this idea. So what do we think is going on with Red Hulk? I'll throw to you first, Armin.
All right, so good, because after this, I'll have to get out of here. So,
I figured that's why I'm timing it.
yeah. Honestly, I think they're gonna play Red Hulk as he's the villain. That's the play here. He's the villain. The first trailer, they're leaning into who's the man that's sitting there that's talking. A lot of normies I talk to, they're like, "Oh, that's old Steve Rogers in the White House." I'm like, "No, that's the leader." They just don't know. They're playing
This
it
green
up.
guy's the leader.
Right? Like, no, look, they're playing it up as the Hulk is the villain. I'm pretty sure the second trailer is going to lean a little bit more into leader and Hulk. But I think we're going to get Red Hulk he's not necessarily full bad. I don't think they're going to do that. But you're going to see he's doing it because of reasons, right? America first and all that. They're going to play up the patriotism angle with them. And that's fine. But there's definitely the leader factor, and multiple Hulks are appearing in this. And it's Sam is going to be out of his element the entire time, and I can't wait to see how they do that, because, bro, one punch to Sam, he'd be dead, okay?
Yeah.
So
That's
they're
why
going to
he
have
wears
to be...
vibranium.
I was going to say vibranium and probably adamantium added to his suit is going to have to be a factor,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, because that was the other thing they said, is that they're going to harvest the Celestial from fucking Eternals, baby!
Because no one remembers Shang-Chi. Eternals got
Boo! Boo this man!
Boo Feige. He's the madman that done it before.
Listen, Mitch
not
and
my
I
fault.
are not only on the right side of history, we are on the correct side of the screen. Because
You
this is
have
the
2
War
out
of
of the 3
Eternals.
Eternals fans here right now.
It's true. That is
What, are
true.
we pulling Delton and who? Delton and you got...
If Dalton hears that you said he's an Eternals fan, I think he might actually take his shot.
That's
He won't
true.
miss.
I better
I'm
watch
telling you
out.
right now. Ricardo,
Okay.
on the other hand, he will be like,
Oh yeah, Ricardo. And then it'll
But
be
how
like,
do
which
you
big
think-
booty Eternal is there for me?
Irish.
Oh, we have the third one. It's Ray Clausen. Hi, Ray. How's it going,
That's
buddy?
4. See,
That's
we're
4.
multiplying already.
That's
Oh,
We're
actually
almost
the
at a half
number.
dozen, guys. Real proud of you.
Once
Grassroots
you
movement.
once you hit a dozen, that's the amount of people that saw it in the theater. So you know you're
That will
golden.
be twice the amount of people that remember Shang-Chi.
That's true though, but that's
That
okay.
is- I can't get into bed on the Shang-Chi hate, but
No, I'm not hating Shang-Chi. It's just the fact that everyone talks about the Celestial and how no one's mentioned it in however many years it's been. No one talks about
Dude,
Shang-Chi.
The
So
only
Eternals
Shang-Chi,
win, man.
the only Shang-Chi follow-up we got was She-Hulk, and everybody hated that show. Didn't even make it far enough to get to Abomination. So,
I forgot that was an episode of She-Hulk.
I was
yep,
gonna say,
exactly.
yeah.
Yep. So there you go.
She-Hulk, my favorite MCU show, tied with Loki. But
Same.
Huh?
One
How do
division
you-
clears, I'm afraid.
WandaVision's right behind them. I mean, what do you think the angle is on how we get Red Hulk? Because I've seen a lot of people positing the idea that this is like like Thunderbolt Ross, like trying to get ahead of his own mortality. Like
Okay.
this is something I
So-
know you guys are going to be a little bit more on the up and up. than
I
Like,
am
what do
there
think the
with
angle
you
is?
because if you guys remember, the last couple appearances we saw Thunderbolt Ross, and even in Black Widow, he had the cane. He was struggling to
Yeah.
walk, and now he's fine. I think the leader sells him on the idea of one world, me and you, we can do this. I will make you the president of the world. I got a plan, but we're going to fix you up with Hulk juice. And it doesn't go right because it never does unless you're Captain America, right? So they're going to play that angle, and it's going to come out, and when his temper goes, that's when he morphs. And I think that there's going to be the leader able to remote control it, to make him lose control, to make him seem inadequate, so the leader can step in and be like, hey guys, I can fix all your problems because I work with the Hulks. Like, I think there's another twist upon twists coming in with this film because they said they're going to do the Winter Soldier again. So we're getting all that sort of espionage, political stuff all rolling into it. And we already see that. It's a geopolitical thriller. You got Japan, you got all this stuff rolling into it. Like Red Hulk, Thunderbolt Ross, the president, is a puppet. 100%. There's no way he isn't.
False flag.
100%.
Hell yeah. I love it. Armin, I will hold you for any longer. Pluggables, where can the lovely people find you? As
I don't know. Find me in the fucking links over there, the CBC or whatever. I don't care. Follow me on TikTok, where I just rant about either dumb people not understanding Marvel or defending Ray. There you go. I got to plug that. There you go.
I say my favorite thing about Armin is that he will post a TikTok. His Ray hot toy will be like in the background, blurry, out of focus.
Yeah.
But there will be like one guy who's never washed his penis in his life who will be like, Ray Palpatine! And then Armin will spend a week eviscerating a motherfucker.
It's true.
Replying to comments. And I'm just like, there
it's true.
goes my hero. Like,
wait till they see that I'm getting Ray's lightsaber tattooed on me. They're going to flip out.
sensational.
So thank you for having me on, as always.
Of course, thank you for coming by. And there's only one way we can play you out, Armin. So thank
Fuck
you.
off.
Go watch Comic Book Cast.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
From the front lines of the information war, it's Alex Jones.
You know, I'd like to think this was all part of a long con, that when the alt-right in America starts using AI to hunt down leftists, the AI gets really confused at the number of times we've played Alex Jones clips and talked about him, that it just doesn't pick up on us.
I hope so. I hope so.
Travis, your view on that is so much more charitable than what Alden says. Because Alden's thing is, Jarod started out academically fascinated by conspiracy culture and is secretly pilled and just is too afraid to tell anybody that I actually do believe all of this shit. And just lampshade everything as me thinking it's silly and fascinating.
Yeah, I could never see a world where you are legitimately racist. Or like legitimately ist in any way where you intend to be like that. Like we're white and we grew up in the whitest town anywhere near us.
there is an effigy to Trump that stands next to our high school that we graduated from.
It is less than a mile from my house. I could walk to it right now. And it horrifies me to this day. And I know that there are going to be things I'm learning about other cultures for the rest of my life because of it. And I'm okay with that and open to learning and loving all who walk this planet. And I also know that the number of times we've played that clip mean that I'm going to be safe from the idiot who thinks he can get a list of Antifa people. Not that I meant, you know what I mean? Like,
Travis went, oh shit.
I've never worn a ski mask, okay?
Travis did the meme of, hi, I'm Bat Wayne. I mean, Bruce Man. Oh, fuck. That was funny. That was really funny. Speaking of radical leftists who I aspire to be like, Thunderbolts, namely Red Guardian.
I don't like what they've done to the suit.
You don't like the gold accents?
It's tan. It's like tan leather. It is horrible.
It look in the videos I saw. It looked like a gold, like a golden rod.
That's what I thought at first, but there's actually like a proper shot of him, I think, and it's like just tan leather. It's
I don't like that as
not
much.
a fan.
I thought it was to look like like I said, like that vibrant yellow and like the USSR flag.
That's what I thought as well, but it's just because it's like a hockey pad now as well or some shit. Like it's a downgrade to say the least. Like probably the biggest one.
Maybe. Well, like I said, I'll wait to see it in action with color correction and stuff on screen. But I am mildly disappointed to hear that it is tan and not like gold and yellow. We got our first confirmation, like kind of like from the horse's mouth, that Sentry is in this movie. It was coy. it was playful, but they
Like when they called him
basically said
Bob.
it. They called him Bob
Yeah.
and said Bob is bulletproof.
Yeah.
I think we can confidently call that a dead ringer. That is in fact Sentry.
Oh, it's Sentry.
You know what I can call a dead ringer about right now?
What?
But I have to pee, so I'll be right back.
Okay, have fun, buddy.
Pee quick.
But Mitch, how are you? How are you feeling about what we know about Thunderbolts so far? I mean, I feel like they kind of addressed the weird why are they all the same archetype thing in a way, which I like a lot.
Did they? Because I'll be honest, everything else in this panel, apart from the RDJ stuff, is like in one ear out the other for me.
So
not that I'm
the
not
way
excited for any of it. It's just that just overtook everything. I haven't got enough.
Oh
mental
yeah,
capacity
it's
to
swallowed
hold it.
up a lot of the other news.
Mm.
Is
it the whole thing about them? They're all recruited for a mission, but none of them know about the
all
others.
being sent on the same mission.
Yeah. That makes.
I like that.
No.
You know, like
I was
okay,
fine with the idea of like the team composition anyway. Sure, it's a bit weird, but I assume there's always going to be a reason behind it. But yeah, I'm cool with it. I'm cool.
I dig it. I dig it a lot. I think that I am very much in the camp of the Thunderbolts asterisk means that this is not actually our Thunderbolts team.
No,
and that
they're a
is
cover up
another
for
team.
Sentry.
They're a cover up for
100%.
Sentry, but like there's another team that is going in that is going to be
Possibly
more heavy hitters that we all were like thinking would be there, like a Zemo, that we just don't know. And if especially Deadpool and Wolverine is any sign that Marvel has no problem with lying to everybody not lying to everybody in the press, but like lying by omission as to who all is in a movie. Like spoilers for Deadpool and Wolverine. I think that, you know, if you're able to get, you know, high billing actors like Channing Tatum, Jennifer Garner, Wesley Snipes to agree to your name will not be in the opening credits despite you playing a pivotal role in the end of Act 2 and the beginning of Act 3. I feel like you can. I just saw Travis come back. I feel like you can justify like having a Daniel Bruhl or, you know, I'm trying to think of some of the other people that like that folks are saying should be on the Thunderbolts, but like
I mean, Thunderbolt for a start, definitely.
Yeah, you know that, like, yeah, like I think there is a route to be like, oh yeah, like we're not going to put you in any marketing because we want you to be a surprise, but I still fundamentally think that the goal is let's send these folks to kind of be crash test dummies against Sentry, see how that goes,
and then we just have mean. Can we like acknowledge that? That is mean. That is. Imagine making this Sentry and being like, send in Bucky.
Yeah.
That poor man. He's been through enough. Like,
he has. It's fucked, but you know.
He's a World War II vet. Come on.
Exactly. It's like asking Harrison Ford a nerd question. You just don't do that.
I think somebody will one day ask Harrison Ford a good enough nerd question that he gets excited to answer it. I don't know.
Absolutely not, because then that won't get the angry clicks.
I think one day someone will ask him a thoughtful enough question about Han Solo that he will happily answer it.
Will he though?
I think he will. I think one day
when are you meeting Harrison Ford, Jarod?
No. I don't know.
That might be the only way you get it. No.
Where are you sending me? Right into the Sentry's fucking mouth. But no, I do find it. I do think it's really fascinating and fun. I like the angle for this. I'm excited to see, you know, what they cook up with it. But yeah, Travis, you have any Thunderbolt thoughts?
Oh, so many. My brain's racked with them, man. Yeah, like you know, I was really thinking, and also, no, I like. This has been of the things in Phase 5 that I have believed the little existence about, if that makes sense. I know that wasn't grammatically what I meant to say, but like I've never been attached to this movie in any way because I didn't know if it was actually ever going to happen.
Yeah.
So I haven't been like, I mean, kind of in the same way with Captain America. I told you this last night. I think I said it on the recording. I had not seen the Brave New World trailer until I saw Deadpool in theaters. Which I'm excited for that movie now.
Yeah.
But
That looks good.
yeah, it's giving like Bourne vibes, like the trailer was, and I dug that. I was like, this is gonna be cool. Yeah,
it's just one of my favorite edited Marvel trailers in a long time.
Yeah,
I go through my day with that like just like playing in my head. Like it's just makes my hair stand up.
It's very like Black Widow trailer when that dropped. Like that was the first like spy thriller trailer they've done since the Winter Soldier. It's just like it's nice to have Marvel back here. I like this one.
I to this day will say I don't know where in my top 3 it sits, but I will say till the day I die that the first trailer for the Marvels might be one of my favorite Marvel trailers of all time.
Good trailer.
There's just something so fun and charismatic about that trailer that I can just every time I saw it come on, I was like, ooh, even if I got it as a fucking YouTube ad, I'd watch the whole thing. But yeah, no, like I said, very excited about the slate from Hall H. Just to say, as we have before, we will see what happens with Brave New World. I still have a lot of complicated feelings about Sabra, and I'm hoping that I'm hoping they do the right thing with her as a character, and but
cut her out, yeah, hopefully.
I'd cut her out. I mean, these are one of the situations where we were talking about like the Jewish and Romani representation being a rake that the MCU has stepped on. I really hope that the first time they get it right is not with Captain IDF. I'll be.
Well, unfortunately, it is.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that they're just like, oh yeah, she's a Black Widow, nothing else.
Isn't that what the rumors are saying, or did they announce?
That's what I'm hearing. That's the rumbling is that that her name is Ruth, and Ruth is a Black Widow, and that's all she does.
She just happens to be Israeli.
Yeah, she just happens to. Hey, this is a Black Widow. We came from Israel and has no connection to the IDF, and the actor's a fucking clown. But that is that. I'm trying to think. One other little note. The trailer didn't give a whole lot, but it looks really fun. Creature Commandos trailer. I dig it. It's our first.
I have not seen it.
Me neither.
I know that it dropped. I saw it when the RDJ stuff came out, and poor little thing got swept away.
Yeah. There was that. There was some news about My Adventures of Superman. I avoided because I'm behind on that. We got some more stuff for what was I going to say? I lost it. I have no idea where the fuck my brain just went. But yeah, and Ray Clausen brought up what I was about to say, the new DC Studios logo. Love that a lot. Very excited for more from James Gunn's Superman. I'm sure we're going to be seeing some more of that in the coming day or in the coming weeks and months. We did not get any more news on Blade, which was disappointing. The reason he is in the thumbnail is because I wanted to say, please, for the love of fuck, tell me something about Blade. I'm dying, please.
You got D23,
and that was going to segue into D23 is on the horizon. What do we think is going to come out of D23?
When is it?
Got a week and a half.
9th.
Jesus. We can't get a Fantastic Four trailer.
I think, Eli said it right before I could. I think we're getting a Star Wars Skeleton Crew trailer.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, my brain's not even on Star Wars.
No, I was thinking Marvel first, then going to Star Wars.
Yeah.
But definitely a Skeleton Crew,
Yeah, I can't think of anything Marvel related that we would. I mean, unless there's a TV show left that they haven't shown.
There's, I think, 4 projects between the
because they didn't talk about TV at all at Hall H, and I think we're going to get a lot of TV at D23. I think we're going to get Daredevil.
Because apparently Charlie Cox has come out and said he's going to be there. So
I think we're getting Daredevil D23. I'm hoping they talk a little bit about Blade at D23. I think we might get some insight into X-Men 97 at D23 on the Marvel
Maybe.
side of things. I think I feel like a Skeleton Crew trailer is coming. I think we might get a good bit of insight into Mandalorian and Grogu, because I know that's the Star Wars movie that's on deck. And I think, and I'm hoping, and I'm praying that we get an Acolyte Season 2 announcement at D23.
Oh, they need to. If they don't, then
I am all hands praying for an Acolyte renewal announcement. And again, these are all things that make sense to do on their home turf, especially on the Star Wars side of things. You know, they like Star Wars Celebration isn't until next year. So they can either just announce publicly Star Wars stuff, but if they want to make an event and a note of Star Wars, D23 is the place to do it. I
assume we get stuff on like the Rey movie as well, like just anything.
I feel like it's a ways out. We might get a little bit of insight. We might get some like cast announcements, maybe. But just because we gotta hit Mando, Grogu, I think the Mandoverse movie, and then Rey. And then I think the James Mangold New Jedi Order is kind of like not in purgatory, but is floating between. I think Rey and Mandoverse. It will end up on either end of those. But I neglected to mention in the High Republic publishing panel stuff, the panel ended with Leslie Headland saying, for light and life. And I really, really think that it will, I think they're kind of prepping us for, like Leslie Headland's still around, guys. She's making an appearance, like it may be a remote one, but she's making an appearance in San Diego. And, I'm really, really hoping that we get that final confirmation there at the end. So, yeah.
I'd put money on anything, though. I'd say Marvel announce what's in between the Avengers movies. Whether that is the Shang-Chi sequel and that Celestial movie that apparently it was, I don't know. But plans change. I assume they've got to say something about it.
I have no idea what to make of what might be between the movies. I know for anybody who watched our Deadpool review that came out earlier today, which you have not, go watch that. Alden got to school me because I was fully convinced that we had a confirmation that Shang-Chi 2 was called The Wreckage of Time.
No, but that was a leak that they started taking down a while ago. So Shang-Chi Wreckage of Time is an actual title that came out, but they've never said anything about it.
Yeah, I thought that was fully a thing that we knew for real. So maybe Shang-Chi 2 is like our Battle World movie. I wouldn't mind that. There is a part. I'm part of the fucking problem, guys.
We know, don't worry.
There's a part of me that's like, what if Spider-Man 4 takes place between the Avengers movies?
I mean, how else are you going to get the black suit? Unless the Russos are like called dibs on that, which wouldn't surprise me in the slightest.
Maybe, yeah. Because like my thing is like, I think it would be really cool if, like there is a Spider-Man Battle World movie, and when like we get a movie of Peter donning the black suit, and he has it for a whole movie and keeps it and takes it into Secret Wars, and then comes out with the black suit after Secret Wars. I think it would be neat. But
I think that's the easiest bet to have for that Secret Wars movie is that's going to happen.
Yeah. Ooh. Squatch Paco teed up Deadpool 4. I also think Doctor Strange would be a good candidate for
Doctor Strange,
an in between movie for Avengers. So
forget Strange, give me Scarlet Witch movie. It's been talked about.
I also like this from Cody Blasky. I think Battle World should be a series.
I
would not mind a Battle World show. I would not mind a whole like if they did, it would probably end up being an animation maybe. But then again, with how much shit with Marvel changes, like with how adaptive they are for better or worse, that I feel like because there's so much of a lead time on animation might be hard.
Yeah.
But,
that's a good 6 years probably.
If it's meant to be a connector, they could even just do like a 4-part miniseries, like a extended miniseries deal instead of like a 6 or 7 episode season. It like there's like 4 episodes. It's just connector pieces.
Tales from Battle World type thing. I wouldn't. Yeah, that would be really fun.
Give me a 5-episode Battle World series where each episode is like Chris Evans is one, Jeremy Renner's another, Scarlett Johansson's another one, Mark Ruffalo, and they're all like villain versions of their characters, like a Tony Stark being Doctor Doom. Like, make Chris Evans Red Skull. Give me
I saw
that,
you
and then
tweet about that. And
just do it. Just do it.
There's
Just
a part of
go
me that's
have
really
fucking fun with it. Like,
there's a
why
part of
not?
me that's into let the whole original cast come back as like evil counterparts. Working like in like, oh, it's the Dark Avengers and it's Doctor Doom, Iron Man, and fucking Hydra Cap
Just
and
do it. Like,
Bullseye. And the thing that I saw you tweet that, and you know what my immediate incredibly Jarod predictable thought was? Tom Holland could play Superior Spider-Man in the Dark Avengers. Immediately, I was like, boom, there you go. Here we go, guys. Superior Spider-Man, live action, Secret War.
so predictable.
Because I'm deeply fucking predictable.
I'd rather them save that for not the Superior Spider-Man thing. They're not that brave.
They're not. That's the problem.
If they're gonna do the Dark Avengers things,
movies, I don't have fucking Kevin Feige on speed dial.
yeah, no, I would say save the villain thing for the movie. I would like it as like
you save it for the movie, but you just don't have to then worry about like it actually means something a little bit more in the movie because you've had these hours with them.
And this is like a thing that I enjoy in stories. I would love like different batches of characters and they concurrent running. Like each episode is on the same timeline of like there's a span of maybe 2 days, and I'm loosely using an amount of time, but each of the episodes is the entirety of the same 2 days from the perspective of this next group of people wherever they end up. As they come together for whatever happens in Secret Wars. I think that would be neat.
Yeah, very, very Siege of Mandalore, Revenge of the Sith, like passing ships.
Yes. Yeah.
I like that a lot.
I love stories like that, where you're like, oh, and then in episode 3, you can see that this thing from episode 1, and there are these characters that they kind of talk about that we haven't seen yet, so maybe it's going to be episode 5. And
Travis, are you aware of the fact that the Legends Darth Plagueis novel does exactly that?
Yes.
I was going to say, you should put that on your Audible.
Yeah, I haven't read it, and I know I need to because I know it does that. And again, it's one of my favorite. It's why movies I had on repeat as a kid, Lion King 1.5. One of my favorite movies ever. The DVD is worn and does not work properly.
That's so funny.
Nice.
That's so you. Like Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer, Lion King 1.5, and Revenge of the Sith in 1 minute bites on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's beautiful. But yeah, guys, I think that's all we have from our little San Diego Comic-Con news roundup. Mitch, where can the lovely people find you and what you do, dear friend?
You can find me on the CBC on the podcast for that with Armin, unfortunately. Fuck that guy. Everyone hates him. On the Mitch 692 channel, me and Jarod are doing Pro and Noob, where I'm making him watch Neon Genesis Evangelion. We are halfway through, 10 episodes in. And yeah. Linktree, all the links are in there. If you want it, you can find it.
Go watch Pro and Noob. Travis, where can the lovely people find you, buddy?
I'm screaming in the void, always and forever. That's about it. That's all I've been doing recently.
Does it scream back?
Yeah, but it's just me. Like I kind of walk to the other side of it and scream in the opposite direction.
Yeah. It's the only way to do it.
Damn voids.
Jarod?
Yep, there it is.
Yeah. I'm out of practice. Where?
You guys can find me over, like I said, on the Overmanning Systems YouTube channel. Ionized Bastards Season 2 is over. We will be doing a live stream Q&A talkback show here soon about the first 2 seasons leading into our final season of Ionized Bastards. I am excited for the story that Michael wants to tell. I'm excited for Michael's finale. I am sad to say goodbye to Fabian Martel here soon, but I'm super pumped. This season finale was thrilling. Um, I I want to talk about it, but I don't want to spoil it, especially for Mitch, who's making his way through, and I'm looking forward to him texting me about it. I know Taylor watched it last night. Our OG number one fan, followed closely by Eli and Bloom and Buck. I believe Ray is also watching Bastards as well. Shouts out Ray. But yeah, we were having a great time with it. Taylor had a wonderful time last night, screaming at me for a not great tactical decision I made.
Another
In the
one?
final boss
Wow.
fight. Shut the fuck up, Mitch. I thought one of my force abilities would not be affected by the final boss's legendary reaction. And they were able to resist one of my force abilities, and it did not go well for me because of it.
Is that because of a bad roll?
No, I did not have to roll to use this force ability. I mean,
They
if
didn't
you
have
want
to roll to resist it.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I didn't hear what you said, but I heard her yell.
I want to explain that joke, and I can't without spoiling it, but I will tell Travis after the fact because I can't tell it without spoiling it. But it is not always that when Taylor is talking to me through the TV that you can hear her. During like the live stream after shows I do for the live action Star Wars stuff, sometimes I can hear her and I laugh and then I tell the audience what she said. But that was a rare time where we had an audio Taylor cameo. Real. Jarod is not very tactical. That is not true.
I agree.
I have made very tactical plays at Iodized Bastards that have in fact changed the course of battle for the better.
I'll be the judge of that. You haven't played D&D with me.
I think we will be all the judge of that.
Listen. Sometimes I go for big moments. Sometimes I go for smart plays, and sometimes I'm not sure, so I try to go in the middle, and it doesn't work out.
I have to actively I have to do everything I can to not play for everybody else at the table. And also
I've already
and also then try to be in character because I'm like, this is strategically the best move because it puts me out of range, does the most damage, does this. My character wouldn't do that. I'm a stupid rabbit.
My favorite moment I have had, my second favorite moment, because it falls. One of the things that happens in the season finale is my number one D&D RPG moment. My number one favorite, and these are one of those moments of me choosing fun over tactics, but the dice being on my side. We're doing a D&D session, and it was me, Taylor, Scotty J-Ro, and his wife Katie, and Michael was DMing, and we were in combat. We were fighting this horde of goblins, and Scotty was playing as a turtle, just this big turtle guy, and he had this big quarterstaff. But for whatever reason, Scotty decided that instead of using his quarterstaff, he wanted to, like Mortal Kombat, from the ground uppercut a goblin. And he and I were right next to each other. And I said, well, that was fun. So I was like, fuck it. I'll do an unarmed strike too. And I was like, okay, Jared, what do you want to do? I was like, I sheath my swords and I super kick the goblin. Just WWE style, sweet chin music, baby. And I rolled a nat 20 and I kicked the goblin through a tree and kind of liquefied its brain. So you need to understand that the first time I was in proper D&D live combat, I did some ridiculous bullshit and got an amazing kill on some ridiculous bullshit. So I'm going to chase that high for the rest of my life of super kicking a goblin through a tree.
I had the
RIP
same, but the
Godfather.
reverse. I had the same in my first ever. Yeah, we were fighting like a golem of some kind, like a statue, like an animated statue. And I was playing a goblin that had a strength of 18, and I got hit out of the room. Like I got hit so hard I flew out of the chamber we were in, but past another player character. And he was like, DM, can I high five Travis as he flies out of the room? We thought that was funny. And our DM wasn't having it. And he was like, roll dexterity saving throws to both of you to do this, I guess. We both hit it, no problem. And he went, great. Travis, roll damage. I was like, what? He's like, you have 18 strength, right? Roll damage right now. D6 plus your strength modifier. I was like, oh no. And I dislocated his arm.
One of my favorite, because Travis, I know you're a dropout head now. Watching Brendan Lee Mulligan's Adventuring Academy is so much fun. Where he'll be interviewing people, and he had this, and Brian Murphy from Not Another D&D podcast, and obviously one of the main intrepid heroes on Dimension 20. He was talking about how he runs his tables, and he was talking about the rule of cool, and he was like, if you want to do something cool, like over the top and ridiculous cool, I'm okay with it. He said, but he was like, I draw the line here, and he was like, Legolas in Two Towers skateboarding on an orc shield down a flight of stairs is one thing. You're not allowed to be Bugs Bunny. And it was the difference between Legolas and Bugs Bunny that I was like, that is such a beautiful way of putting it. Because, like, I know I will try to be Legolas, but fuck up into being Bugs Bunny. But I will never actively try to be Bugs Bunny. I want to try to be Legolas, but it turns into Bugs. So yeah, go watch Ionized Bastards and see what happens when Bugs Bunny has a fucking lightsaber. But yeah, also Epic Confrontation, Star Wars Trivia Show. We're on as well. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to stay tuned to the channel. Patreon versus series. We knock out a few episodes next week, hopefully. We got some good ones. We got Galen Merrick versus Asajj Ventress. We got Keller and Beck versus the Grand Inquisitor. I am still on the fence about what I want to do for the proper August matchup because because of how the Acolyte ended, I don't know what to do with that now. And completely left me kind of holding my junk in the rain here. But we will figure that out. And yes, Eli put his eyeballs in the chat. He will be the special guest panelist for Keller and Beck versus Grand Inquisitor. So yeah, thank you all so much for joining us. You find the Nerd Academy podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. You can donate to our Patreon.
Give me $1.
Thank you to Ray Clausen and Paco. And we will see you guys another time. Class dismissed.
Stop! Move away from the cookie jar!
And listen, for anybody who's already seen the Ionized Bastards finale, I thought what I was doing made perfect sense. And I was trying to make a smart play in the moment, and I was wrong. Sometimes you're wrong. And I needed to get rid of everybody because I wanted to have the last word on that. Because I'm the one with the microphone. Stay classy, San Diego.